Court orders Senate to reinstate suspended Kogi Senator Natasha Akpoti Odohan. FG convenes July summit to fix fuel price and stabilize markets. And the foreign saying Mali junta extends military rule by 5 years, shelves elections. Good evening. Welcome to Trust News Updates. I am Chiamaka Mafo. Thank you for joining us. Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has directed the Nigerian Senate to recall the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti Odohan, describing her 6-month suspension as excessive. Justice Binta Yako, who delivered the judgment, ruled that the suspension was disproportionate and deprived the people of Kogi Central of representation for nearly the entire legislative session, which totals 181 sitting days. The judge also faulted the Senate's reliance on Chapter 8 of its standing rules and Section 14 of the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act, declaring both provisions as overreaching and lacking a clear limit on the duration of suspension. Justice Nyako, however, upheld Senate President Goodluck Akpabio's decision to deny the senator the floor during plenary, stating that she was not in her assigned seat. She ordered Senator Akpoti Odohan to tender an apology to the Senate and publish it in 2 national newspapers within 7 days. The court also imposed a 5 million naira fine on the senator for violating a previous court order restraining parties from making public comments about the matter.
The first application by the Senate that no social media post should have been made was in our favor, and there has been directions that that satirical apology should be taken down and an apology be posted in 2 national dailies. And damages of 5 million naira was also awarded, paid to court, and it was held to be civil contempt as opposed to criminal contempt. So that's why no custodial sentence was given.
The court held that it amounts to civil contempt and that the plaintiff is ordered to pay a fine of 5 million naira, to issue an apology to the court, and to have the said apology also published on the same medium within which the publication that offended the court was done. So basically, she was found guilty or liable.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has received 12 new applications from associations seeking registration as political parties, raising the total number of pending requests to 122. This update comes just over a week after INEC disclosed it had received 110 applications. According to the Commission, the screening process for new political parties remains fair, transparent, and compliant with the Electoral Act and relevant guidelines. The names, acronyms, addresses, and interim leadership details of the newly applying associations have been made publicly available on INEC's website and other platforms. INEC also noted that it has observed leadership changes within some applicant groups, including the replacement of an interim secretary in one case. The electoral body urged all associations to maintain consistent contact information and leadership structure to avoid delays in the vetting process. The Security Matters, the Defense Headquarters has clarified that the Nigerian military has no authority to grant amnesty to terrorists or bandits, emphasizing that such decisions are solely within the purview of other arms of government. The clarification comes amidst reports that some bandit commanders in Katsina State surrendered and released hostages in exchange for amnesty. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcos Kange, said the military's role is strictly guided by its rules of engagement. Also addressing the media, Brigadier General Tukro Guzo, Director of Defense Information, spoke on the continued detention of some leaders of Okwama community of Delta State despite a reported court order for their release. On denial of access to the detainees, he added that no official visitation request has been sent to the Army, assuring that if the proper procedure is followed, the Army will respond accordingly. The Okwama leaders were arrested following the March 14, 2024 ambush that led to the death of 4 officers and 13 soldiers on a peace mission, a tragedy that sparked a nationwide outrage. The Borno State House of Assembly has called for the autonomy of the state legislature and local government for effective governance and development at the grassroots. It stated this during the zonal public hearing on the review of the 1999 Constitution and creation of states in the Northeast region held in Maiduguri. The two-day session will feature presentations and deliberations of proposed bills, which include creation of states, namely Kwara Rafa, Amana, Savannah, and Katagum. Other proposed bills include creation of local governments and reserved seats for women in political offices, among others. Stakeholders highlighted the need for amendments that will reflect good governance, strengthen institutions.
The National Assembly has enacted 5 sets of amendments to the Constitution, known as the First, Second, Third, and the Fifth Alteration Acts. These amendments tackle various issues related to good governance, institutional strengthening, and national aspirations. However, several fundamental issues of national importance remain unresolved, requiring more than just routine lawmaking by the National Assembly and state houses of assembly. These issues continue to dominate public discourse, with many Nigerians advocating for legislative actions to address them.
I warmly welcome you all to Maiduguri for this very important public hearing on the review of the 1999 Constitution. We sincerely thank the leadership of the National Assembly for choosing Maiduguri, capital of Borno State, as host city for the Northeast Zonal Public Hearing on this all-important national assignment. This is a great honor to our states, and it shows confidence in the resilience of our people. This review is a golden opportunity for Nigerians to speak on how best to strengthen our democracy, promote fairness, and build a better country.
Let me use this medium to congratulate the National Assembly under the able leadership of the Senate President, Senator Akpoti, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Natasha Akpoti, for undertaking this commendable initiative to provide a platform for Nigerian citizens to directly participate in the process of amending the Constitution. I'm also extremely elated that this public hearing provides a platform for Nigerians from all walks of life to freely advocate for their yearnings and aspirations to be enshrined in the Constitution.
Local government chairmen are, by constitutional provisions, expected to play a vital role in Nigeria's democratic framework. As the tier of government that are closest to the grassroots, they represent the face of governance for millions in both rural and urban communities. However, critical questions persist, such as, are these chairmen truly relevant in today's Nigeria? Are they empowered leaders or merely figureheads controlled by state governance? Answers to these and more in this report.
The Nigerian Constitution recognizes local government as the third tier of government. At the heart of this structure is the local government chairman entrusted with the responsibility of driving development at the grassroots level. In theory, their mandate is clear: manage local council affairs, oversee health centers, supervise primary education, maintain roads, and engage directly with the people. In practice, however, many chairmen remain invisible or ineffective. According to Abdullahi Megari Adamu, the chairman of Action Alliance, AA in Kebbi State, politics in Nigeria has become largely non-ideological. He also criticized the state of local government administration, highlighting that many chairmen are appointed rather than elected. Adamu called for a return to value-based politics that prioritize democratic principles, public service, and accountability.
These local government chairmen, I'm being very frank. I don't care. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm saying the actual truth. They are mostly appointed, not elected. Let's say I'm the governor. I have all the funds of the state in my hands. I can do anything I like with the funds. Nobody checkmate me, because everybody is looking for what he can get from me. So I cannot come one day and ask you to please vote for my candidate, and you do it as I want. Since I have the weapon, that's the money in my hands, I wouldn't bother whether I like it or not. I bring my candidate and say, this is the person I want.
Dr. Badamasi Saidu, acting head of Political Science Department at the Federal University Birnin Kebbi, stressed the critical role local government chairmen play in Nigeria's political landscape, adding that despite the challenges they face, local government chairmen remain highly relevant in Nigeria's governance structure.
Local government are still very much relevant as far as Nigerian politics is concerned. Not only Nigeria, almost all developing countries. Because development normally starts at grassroots level. And grassroots level are mostly activities carried out by local government. If you can remember, local government in Nigeria are third tier of government, constitutionally.
The former chairman of Birnin Kebbi local government, Abubakar Nadania, emphasized that true autonomy will empower local government chairmen to better serve their communities.
When local government had autonomy, it can be able to assist the community from all angles. But now, being crippled, they are not relevant, you can see, in the society.
The relevance of local government chairmen in Nigeria depends on more than just the title they hold. It is contingent on democratic legitimacy, political will, financial autonomy, and a genuine commitment to accountability. Until chairmen are empowered, politically and financially, to act in the interests of their constituents and are held accountable for outcomes, the dream of true grassroots governance will remain just that, a dream.
As part of efforts to improve healthcare service delivery at the grassroots level, the Jigawa State Government, in partnership with the Impact Jigawa Project, has conducted a one-day sensitization workshop for senior special assistants and special assistants to the governor. The focus of the training was on effective monitoring and supervision of primary healthcare centers across the state. The report.
Held in Duse, the training was designed to build the capacity of the aides to oversee operations in the state's 114 newly upgraded PHCs. These officials, being close to their communities, are expected to serve as vital links between the government and citizens to ensure improved access to quality healthcare services. The initiative targets critical health challenges, including maternal and child mortality, malnutrition, immunization coverage, and malaria control. According to organizers, the training will enable the aides to support monitoring of service delivery at the community level, enhance feedback mechanism, and boost community involvement in healthcare oversight.
This is merely to strengthen the capacity of the special assistants and senior special assistants to the governor on health monitoring to be able to provide the required supportive supervision and monitoring of service delivery at the lowest possible level in the state.
The idea is to provide a bridge between the bureaucratic processes in the civil service and the community that are receiving these services, so that when services are getting better, we can now inform government that we're on track. If there are complaints, the community will tell us that, look, people are saying that there are an issue here. And so we have an extended ear to understand the feeling and aspiration of the population that we are working for, so that this service can continue to get optimized over a period of time.
The workshop also emphasized the importance of supportive supervision, promoting a system where citizens can observe and provide input on healthcare delivery in their areas. This citizen-focused approach, part of Governor Umar Namadi's broader health reform strategy, empowers community to take ownership of local health initiatives. To ensure these facilities function optimally, the government is also providing necessary infrastructure such as solar-powered water and electricity supply and deploying healthcare personnel to the centers. This is aimed at enabling 24-hour service delivery in rural health facilities.
Basically, why we are doing this thing, not really problems, we are doing it in a form of community sensitization. Let the people know this project is their own. Whatever goes to your community is your own. So you need to take proper care of whatever we are doing, because we are putting a huge amount of money into upgrading these facilities to L2.
Overall, the training forms parts of the state's ongoing effort to operationalize key pillar of its health policy, with a commitment to making essential services accessible and accountable to the people.
The federal government has scheduled a two-day National Stakeholder Summit on July 23rd and 24th, 2025 to address widespread concerns over petrol pricing and supply challenges in Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector. The summit, organized by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), aims to engage industry operators, marketers, refiners, and policymakers on issues surrounding price standardization, feedstock adequacy, and strategies for stabilizing Nigeria's deregulated fuel market. The Executive Director of Hydrocarbon Processing Plant, Installation and Transportation Infrastructure at the NMDPRA, Francis Ogeri, confirmed the dates during the 24th Nigerian Oil and Gas Energy Week in Abuja. He said the summit will serve as a platform to establish a sustainable pricing framework in the wake of fuel subsidy removal. Stakeholders, including the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petroan, and the Petrol and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasan, have raised concerns about inconsistent fuel prices, alleging that recent adjustments by the Dangote refinery adversely affect retailers and end users. You're still on to news updates on Trust TV. Up ahead. Imported fabrics flood markets as Nigeria's textile industry collapses. When we return, please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. A recap of our top story. We told you that court orders Senate to reinstate suspended Kogi Senator Natasha Akpoti Odoahan. Two more stories. The federal government has expressed deep concern over Nigeria's growing dependence on imported textiles, disclosing that the country spends about $6 billion each year on foreign fabrics. This reliance has intensified following the collapse of once thriving local textile industries that in the 1970s stood as some of the country's largest employers. Today, the dominance of imported fabrics has not only driven up costs, but also created scarcity of locally made alternatives. Ibrahim Ismail tells us more in this report.
Nigeria's textile industry, once a key contributor to employment and industrial growth in the 1970s, has gradually crumbled. By the 1990s, over 120 textile factories had closed down, pushing the sector into a steep decline. As local production dwindled, traders turned increasingly to imports to meet demand, an option made difficult by rising foreign exchange rates and the floating of the naira. Customers and sellers alike complain that imported textiles often lack the strength and durability associated with locally produced fabrics.
I think it's very important that we get our indigenous wrappers back, because one, the wrappers we had in those days are much thicker than what we get now, because those ones are purely cotton.
And we have drifted from production of these basic items. You know, in those days we hear textiles in Kano, textiles in Kaduna. They are no longer there. On basic things like clothing, we should be able to be, self-sufficient.
This textile product is imported from China. This is the reflection of the current reality within the Nigerian textile industry, which was booming in the 1970s, that created millions of job opportunities for a lot of Nigerians. But I have spoken to the people here, and they have told us that most of the products, almost 100% of them, are imported from China.
Textile merchants say the volatility in exchange rates continues to erode profit margins, making importation both risky and expensive.
You see this naira going down every day. The way the naira is falling, it is quite abysmal. I'm just telling you what the experience that I had concerning Sefa and naira. Everybody was saying before I'm on naira they spend, they'll not be Sefa. But now that Sefa now is far greater than our naira.
When importing goods, fluctuation in dollar exchange rates can impact pricing. If the rate drops, after purchase and imports of goods to Nigeria, Customers may request price adjustments, citing the new rates.
Despite several interventions, including over $1.18 billion in funding schemes over the past 3 decades, government efforts to revive the textile industry have failed to yield sustainable results. Still, some traders remain hopeful that the sector can be revived.
Any successful country you look at, most of the things that they use for their day-to-day are made locally. So I think if you can have factories that will do all these things, I wouldn't need FX, I wouldn't need custom duty. These are the two major things. So I don't think they are strengthening my business. They are just making it hard for me to do the day-to-day running of the business.
In April 2025, the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, John Eno, announced plans to cut annual textile imports by $4 billion. The initiative, he said, is aimed at stimulating domestic production, creating jobs, and reducing capital flight. Whether this marks a genuine turning point or follows the pattern of past promises remains to be seen. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, the bill granting General Assimi Goïta an unelected presidential mandate was on Thursday approved by Mali's transitional parliament. The text of the bill states that Goïta's mandate can be renewed as many times as necessary without elections. The text got unanimous approval from all 131 members of the Traditional Assembly present on Thursday. 41-year-old Goïta has exercised presidential power since August 2020 when the military overthrew then-President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, blaming him for his handling of a deadly Islamist militant insurgency in Mali's north. Thursday's decision clears Goïta to rule Mali at least until 2030. Mali's junta has registered regional and international pressure to organize elections and a return to civilian rule. In sports, Arsenal and Ghana international midfielder Thomas Partey has been formally charged with multiple counts of rape and sexual assault by the UK authorities. In a statement released on Thursday, the Crown Prosecution Service confirmed it had authorized the Metropolitan Police to proceed with the charges following a detailed investigation. According to the CPS, the 32-year-old footballer faces 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. The alleged offences are said to have occurred between 2021 and 2022, during which Partey was a regular first-team player for Arsenal Football Club. The midfielder, who transferred to Arsenal from Atletico Madrid in 2020, has not issued a public response to the charges. Arsenal is also yet to release an official statement as of the time of this report. That concludes the news update at this time. For more of our news, programs, documentaries, to what follows on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.